Hi, this is Renee Leone with Hollywood Connections, and I'm interviewing Lloyd over here. Hi, Lloyd. How are you?
Oh, just peachy. How are you doing?
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're peachy. I'm doing wonderful. So I'm going to ask you some
Fabulous.
questions about your story, and it's amazing, Dawn. And already I heard part of the show last night, and I wasn't on the show, but I want to ask you some questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, that'll be just fine.
So in 1992, when you had your accident, you actually flew out of the car?
Yes, I did.
The experience when, as soon as you flew out of the car, were you automatically unconscious?
No, I was already unconscious because I had rolled in the vehicle. And then I came to, at least my sight, and then I was just speechless while I'm flying through the air. I'm just speechless. And so then it was just like, I couldn't believe that this was actually happening to me.
So at that time, you were in transition. You didn't know whether you were going to heaven or you were going to live. You didn't know where
Or if
you
I was
were.
going to hell.
Well, that's what you were feeling. That's what had happened to you.
Yes, and and it was really a flabbergasting thing that it's so amazing what you think you can do and what you can't do, because you can do more than you think you can do through God if you allow Him to have control of your life.
Well, I think everybody, when they're in a situation like you are, they start to think about everything that's happened in their past life.
Yes, I do, and my wheels were turning in my head 1,000 miles a minute.
Well, you had, you're probably thinking about all your family. I mean, what were you thinking at that moment? Were you thinking like my mom, my sisters, my brothers, I can't leave them?
Everything it was like quick snapshots of my brother and my mom, and it was just something that I had wished, and I do thank God that He allowed it to happen because it brought me to where I am today.
Oh, that's amazing. Your story is so huge and definitely should be a movie about it, because there are people that do pass and die and they come back.
Yes, and and too many people that happens to, a lot of them do not have a voice, and they can't even tell what happened because of their accident. For one reason or another, they're unable to speak or unable to talk, or they're really unable to communicate in any sense of writing stuff even down. And I feel very, very much for them, but those people and the people who can tell what they've been through, I just volunteer my time a lot of times, and I'll go and speak with them.
So, I want to ask you, when you said you went to hell and you seen Lucifer and all the different incidences that happened and the people that were down there begging to leave hell, so to speak, do you think the people that didn't leave hell, they couldn't overcome, like there was no good in them? Because you came back. So God's seen the good in you.
Well, I don't really think that even the people that were in hell knew that they were in. A lot of people, I would say, didn't even know they were in hell because they were just crying, and I heard wailing and gnashing of teeth, and people just crying dry tears because they were hurting. They just were hurting so bad, and people say, well, I can take a little bit of that. Well, it's not just a little bit. It's forever. And do you know what forever really is? It's forever, and it never stops. And it's really an amazing thing that God can save you from that if you choose to let Him have control of your life.
How long do you think you were down there at the moment? Like, I know it's like we can't say a time clock, but do you think you were down there for like maybe moments, or you were down there for maybe minutes or hours?
It seemed like hours. It really did. And you
were scared. You were scared.
Oh, I was frightened.
At the moment, were you praying to God, saying, "Get me out of this hell. Please bring me back. Get me out of here"?
I don't know if I was praying, but I was just like thinking to myself, God's got to get back in your life. And, and after I woke up I couldn't even speak for 7 weeks, and once I could speak, I
So you had to speak all over again. I mean, you had to learn all over
had to
again.
learn how to walk and talk, everything all over again, just like a newborn baby.
What? You were in a coma for how long?
167 days, almost 6 months.
Well, I want to tell you, the hospital that you were in and the recovery centers. Shands. Oh, Shands number one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear people talking to you, though, when you were in the coma?
I could at one point in time, but I couldn't for the first, I would say, I don't even know how long, but...
It was probably when you were coming to. You were probably coming out of it when you could hear.
Well, no, because I could hear the doctor say I wasn't going to live not even 48 hours after being on life support. He was saying Mr. Hodge is not going to live even 48 hours. And if he does live, which I see no chance of, but if he does live, he will definitely be a vegetable and definitely be in a wheelchair.
But they kept you on. They kept you on, and look at here you are to talk about it. And you'll be able to tell your story. And now God is great. I mean, He's in your heart. He's in your life. And you're here to tell the story. And when people say they don't believe, you can say, you better believe because there is God.
Yeah, it's too funny. I've run into people, in fact, people who don't even believe there is a God in the last couple days. And, I'm just like, I'll tell you, I know for a fact.
Was there must have been a lot of people praying for you. You had a lot of friends and family that they were doing, going to church and being in the church and praying for you moment by moment, day by day.
Yes, I did. But also, let me tell you, there is a moment of time in your life that you just need to just stop and say, God, it's all yours. Do what you want to with me. And, and when I did that, those specific words I said in my duplex in St. Pete, Florida, I said, God, do what you want to in my life.
And so you're a product of a believer, and you also can tell your story and say, He's there to intercede. I mean, 160 some odd days being in the coma. That's a rarity that you can come out of something like that.
Yeah.
Did you? Did you have anyone praying over you in the hospital?
Yes, my mother and my brother, and they were so.
Power of prayer is so strong.
So amazing. Yeah, the power of prayer is strong, and it's I believe to be one of the most powerful things in the universe.
Well, we're so glad to have you here and to be able to, tell your story. And I know that there's so much more that you're not saying, but it'll come about. Your story, it just doesn't end, because now you'll remember things. I'm sure there's certain things you don't remember, but now, like little bit by little, you say, oh, wow, that happened in the meantime while I was in my coma or when I was in the process of flying through the air.
Yes, and, I just look at every day as another day that God blessed me with, and I just ask, what does He have for me? And it's just really a miraculous thing and it's so spectacular to know that God can do what He can do, and all you do is have to give Him the liberty to work in your life.
The grace and the glory.
Yes.
Just say, God, I'll help you. You help me.
No, you don't understand God. God doesn't need your help, but He would like your help if you want to help Him. But He doesn't
believe.
Yes,
it's believing.
Just
that's your help.
Yes,
that's your help.
And it really is a good thing. And Dawn, you had another question.
You're going to be motivational speaking in churches. Is that your plan as well?
Well, I have in the past. I have for like the past 25 years. The thing is, though,
you're going to write a book?
I'm also writing a book, and I'm looking for a ghostwriter.
Okay.
And an author.
Well, Dawn is going to help you out because she knows a lot of people.
Okay.
And if I know of anybody, I'm going to push it your way, too.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And I definitely see a movie out of this.
Yes, and I'm trying to put together. We're trying to put together.
We were in the Christian Film Festival, and we'll be there again. But Dawn has a lot of connections, so she's gonna help you out.
Oh yeah, connections are everything.
Hollywood Connections.
This is Hollywood Connections. Hollywood Connections, it's Hollywood Connections. So I want to pray, for you, and I'm glad to see that you're here. And thank you for this interview, and we'll be hearing from you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and Renee, and
Thank you.
it's been such a pleasure and a joy, and I'm really blessed that God has given me the opportunity to share with people out there.
So the moral of the story is God is great all the time, and give God the grace and the glory for keeping this man alive, because he's a wonderful person, and he's got some important things for him to be around for. Thank you. With Renee Leon with Hollywood Connections. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm trying to finish. There we go.
Okay.
I can't see either. All right.
There's probably so much in detail, because once you have a producer and a ghostwriter, there's parts of what had transpired, right, Dawn, that will come about that maybe you don't recall.